start by the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm here. Miss Jet Harris?
Here.
Mr. Peck?
Yep.
Mr. Manning?
Present.
Mr. Schmidt?
Present.
Mr. Ginsburg? Ms. Markovitz? Mr. Peterson? Mr. Mulholland's here. Ms. LaRocco? And is Ms. Hardy here tonight? No, not yet anyway. Okay. Going in alphabetical order, I believe it's Mr. Peterson's turn to join us up here. Thank you. Public delegations. Public delegations is the time when members of the public are invited to speak to the commission on subject matters that are not on the agenda. Is there anyone here tonight wanting to speak on anything that's not on tonight's agenda?
Can I make a plea?
If it's something not on tonight's agenda.
Tell me if I'm out of order. I just wanted to make a plea for Mr. Granitek's seat.
That's
voting
on
on it.
the election is on the agenda.
Okay,
so
so
we'll
I
get
can't
to
talk.
that. We'll get
Okay.
to that later. Yeah, thank you. Sure.
So I don't know if I need to comment that it's, Nick Benepace on Hope Street or anything, but 38 Hope Street. So I just want to clarify because several of us are here to speak about one of your votes tonight. Are we going to be given an opportunity to speak about that?
We're having an election tonight.
I'm aware.
We're not asking comments from the public, no.
Okay, well then if it's all right with you, I'm going to speak now.
No, because it's on the
You're
agenda
not allowing the
tonight.
public to speak.
No, not.
I think it's really wrong.
Public
of you to not
delegate.
allow-
No, you're out of order.
Ms. Thurlow,
It's on the.
very
it's-
wrong
no.
of you to not allow
I'm
the
sorry,
public
you'll
to speak
have to
about
sit
this.
down.
It's
Your
very
public
wrong of
delegation is a time for something not on the agenda. Elections are on the agenda.
I do have something that's not on the agenda then?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Speaking about actions that apparently I won't bring up that aren't allowed for tonight, I find it very objectionable, the actions of members of this zoning commission. Some of these actions seem to dismiss the democratic principles that our nation is founded upon, and it makes our citizens cynical as a result. When we witness actions such as, just as an example, not allowing people to speak on an action that you are taking, just an example.
We've had,
It's,
you
this
know
is
what the rules are.
this is not
Let's
on the
move
agenda.
on.
If I'm clear,
Let's move on.
it's not on the agenda though. Am I being prevented from speaking?
You're bringing stuff up that is
I
already
just
on
wanna
the
know it's
agenda.
to-
And you know you are. Could you please
I
sit
just
down?
want to know for this one is,
Could
if
you
I can
please
ask the
take a
secretary for
seat,
that one,
Mr. Menapace?
is
I
the
think we're
subject
done
of
here.
issues of the
Mr.
conduct of the
Menapace,
board
could you
on the
please
agenda?
Take a seat.
You're done here.
You're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about stuff that's on the agenda, and you're
Ms.
not
Thurlow,
going to...
I just want to know,
Menapace,
is this on the agenda? Because I don't see it on the agenda.
We're not here to start trouble. Let's just sit down. We know what your objective is.
is-
Elections are on the agenda. We're not going to talk about
I know
that in
that you don't
public
like it
delegation.
when people
Excuse me,
disagree
this
with
is
you,
not the
but
time
I'm
to
just
talk about
asking if
that.
this is on, because
I'm
there's
sorry.
You're
I'm
out of
sorry.
line.
You're out of order. Please sit down.
Okay.
Thank you. We don't have a public hearing tonight. We'll move on to the regular meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of October 19th?
I move approval of the minutes of October 19th as presented.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Abstain? Pass 600. Next, we have the request of Eric Goodman to modify certain previously approved exterior aesthetic design elements on the buildings at elderly housing development located at 138 Boston Post Road, Assessor Map 31.1, Lot 7.
Madam Chair, you have a memo from them.
Yes, and Ms. Det Harris is reading that.
Memo to East Lyme Zoning Commission from William Mulholland, zoning official, date October 30th, 2023. Eric Goodman has requested a design change to the exterior of the building at the above referenced development. At this time, the specific request is to change the exterior entry door on buildings A, B, C, and the rear door on building B from shaker style to 9 light 2-panel style. It is also requested to change the siding manufacturer from Gentech to Norendek, and to change the siding color of building B from wicker sandstone to Chesapeake Bay gray. As the commission may recall, this project is an 18-unit elderly housing development, was approved at a commission meeting on August 4th, 2022, where there was extensive discussion about the development and the building design. Peter Springsteel, the project architect, emphasized the New England-style building design during the design portion of the meeting. Mr. Springsteel noted the color choices for the building exterior was gray, white, wicker with black windows. During the discussion, some members had concerns about the design and the siding choices and colors. After some debate, the commission subsequently approved the project. Mr. Goodman has submitted to the commission to make certain modifications to the building exteriors as noted above. The commission should carefully evaluate the request and determine whether to allow any modifications or to require the project to be constructed as previously approved, including all exterior design elements and colors.
Thank you. Do you want to give the presentation now? Okay.
Just to be clear, though, I personally am not here. I'm here on behalf of 138 BPR, which is the ownership.
We can't hear you very well. And if you could state your name and address.
Sure. Eric Goodman, 9 Roland Street, Mystic, Connecticut.
Cody Blake, 32 Main Street, Mystic, Connecticut.
So just to clarify, I'm not here on behalf of myself. I'm here on behalf of 138 BPR, which is the ownership entity of that project. That was originally owned by one gentleman. The project essentially died, and we jumped in and bought a piece of it. So we're now owners with the same gentleman who had it approved to begin with. Just taking these items one by one, the siding manufacturer that he had chosen, we don't have an arrangement with them. So we're just switching from a like to like siding. So we just have a company that we use, ABC here in Niantic, that provides our siding. So there's no changes to the siding except the company name. What we did want to change, though, is the doors. And I'll just give you, if you could, a copy of these.
We can share.
I'll do this in 1 second. So the only changes we want to make is on the front doors of the buildings. It had this 9-light shaker style door. After discussion with our other partner, we want to switch to a 4-panel solid door. And the reason we want to do that is just for privacy. We don't want a light on the door in the front, just considering the proximity to the street. And on the rear of building B, there's the same door that the architect had spec'd, which is the 9-light shaker door. That's only on the rear doors of B, though. We just want to change that to a larger 9-light, so it'll let a little more light in, because that's a western-facing side. So we figure afternoon light. Door quality is the same, door manufacturer is the same, everything's the same, it's just changing the style slightly on that. The last thing was just the colors. For some reason, and I'm not sure why this is done, and even after we talked to our partner on it, we noticed that building B, which is the center building, had this wicker color, which is similar to this one. I can just come up and show you. So it was this color, and the rest of the buildings had this color, silver. The white's not going to change, the black windows isn't going to change, the white doors aren't going to change. I just happened to take a picture of the doors. But what we just want to do is change the middle building siding from that wicker to this silver, which is the same as the other buildings were approved as. That's it. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Anybody have questions?
So you're not using the blue, you're using the same colors?
The blues change is going to be the
Blue's
exact
fine.
same on the garages. All we did in our email to Bill was just note the difference. Each company calls them something different,
In the window style.
and the windows are staying the exact same, and they're black too. And the white board and batten is all remaining, the white trim's all remaining. It's just a change to that color and a change to the door style.
What was the reason for the change of the door style that we already have approved?
The reason why we wanted to change the front doors was privacy. We don't want glass on the front doors because of the proximity from the door to the road that's going to come down. We're afraid that when people are driving out of the driveways, they're going to have the lights on, and it's just going to go right into the entryway. So we want to change that to a solid door, and then on the back, we want to actually add a little more light so they get more light in the dining rooms and living rooms.
I personally don't have a problem with changing the siding. I actually think the original door is a much better looking door. Is there a difference in cost?
Those are more. The doors we want to switch to.
Does anybody else have an opinion?
I like the original doors that we approved versus the plain door with no light in it, no windows in it. I think that the aesthetics, that's why we approved them the first time around, is that they look nice.
You're saving me money. If you want to do that, that's fine.
Anybody else have an opinion?
Yeah, I'm neutral. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I'm fine with the presentation.
Anybody?
How close are these to the road, these properties?
16 feet.
16?
16 feet.
They're right up on the road.
Yeah.
Well, there's the driveway that comes in off of 130, I'm sorry.
When we say road, we
Off
mean
of Boston
the,
Post Road.
yeah, the road for the development.
Okay.
You want to see it, this driveway right
It's the building right behind Dollar General,
Yeah.
or the complex.
It's not from the main road.
No.
No.
No,
But what we're worried about, why we want to go to a solid, is we're worried that when people are pulling in and out of those garages, which are right, what, about 20 feet across?
30 feet. Yep.
They're going to pull right out, lights shining straight through the door, and it hits the stairwells inside the units, and depending on what time people are coming and going. I'd rather, for what it's worth, I'd rather see the full privacy doors and then have people put up window dressings that could be anything, and we're stuck with pink curtains or whatever. And we've had that problem in other buildings. We learned from some of the other projects that we now dictate what window interior finishes you can do because people have just put up crazy stuff.
Right.
So
this diagram here is what it was originally going to look like.
correct.
So now you want it to look, you're requesting that it looks like this now.
Yeah, minus the heart. So
Yeah.
not the color. They're all
Yeah,
white.
not the color.
Yeah.
I'm just questioning the design. So the original design would have the columns.
No,
and the
no,
doors-
not-
just the door.
Just the door panel.
Okay.
That's it. So it goes from like a 2-panel with a 9-light up top to a 4-panel on the front. And on the back, it would go from that 9-light, but only be about yay tall to be about this tall.
Which is the back picture on that handout.
The second,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which will be on the west side, so you get that afternoon, evening light to light up.
The rear doors, you're only adding about 6 inches of glass. On the front doors, you are eliminating it.
Are there any more questions, opinions? Do we have a motion?
I would move to approve his request. I think if my wife and I don't like people being able to look in our front door when you come to answer it or anything else. So I can understand the privacy concern and the headlights coming in.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Abstain? It carries 600.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the election to fill Terry Granitek's spot, and we've had 2 people express interest, and I believe they're both still here tonight. If they would both like to introduce themselves, that's fine. There's Mrs. Kalal and Mr. Foley. If either one wants to stand up and introduce yourself, you're welcome to.
Hello, I'm Mike Foley. Ms. Kalal and I have about the same qualifications. We've lived here the same length of time. We knew each other in school.
Long time ago. No comment about how long that was.
I have, apart from college and a few years afterwards, I've lived here my entire life. I've been involved in the elected and appointed positions from time to time. I don't have any particular agenda as regards to the zoning board, but I'm capable, I think, of filling the seat for 2 years and willing to do so. If picked, I will hope to be competent at it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Kalal, you had something to say?
Just that I too would like to sit on the council. My family's been in town for a long time. Mr. Peck and Mr. Foley had my family's milk cartons on their tray at lunch. Dinner table conversation was always about politics, and I can remember the big to-do about citing the town hall here and not in the north end. But the south end won because there were more people down here. At least that's what I remember. We also learned that there's 2 kinds of people in this world. The people who complain, and then there's the people that do something. And I was taught that if you want something to happen positively, you have to make change. And I'm willing to work hard to make change. And that's why I would like to see.
Thank you. And you prefer a 2-year stint as opposed, you're on the ballot for a 4-year. I'm just curious.
That's fine with me.
Oh, okay.
Gotta go little steps.
Okay. Is there anyone else here tonight that has interest in the position? Okay. Do we have discussion or a motion or?
I have a question.
Yes?
Kind of a political question. If Nancy comes to the board tonight and then she is also elected,
Interesting.
What
I never
happens?
thought of that.
That's a good question. We'd be filling,
We'd have to talk
whoever's
about
here
it.
would be filling another spot.
There'd be an open seat.
There'd be an open seat. Anyway, do we have any motions, discussions?
I would like to nominate Mike Foley to fill the vacancy. You know, Mike has been here long enough. He attended Lily B. He served the town previously in both elected and appointed positions. I believe he has an open mind. I believe he doesn't have a dictated policy as to how to vote on any specific issue. And I think he's familiar with the zoning regulations and he's kept up with the work of the commission. And I believe he will serve the commission in East Lyme very well. So I would like to nominate Mike Foley.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'm going to make a motion.
No, we're on this motion.
Okay. Good.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
Abstain? Passes 5-1-0.
I wanted to nominate you.
We had a motion on the floor. As soon as you're sworn in, we'll see you the next meeting. Congratulations. And good luck in the election, Nancy. You might be here for 4 years. So, yeah. So we'll move on to the regular meeting calendar for next year. It's in your packet.
Madam Chair, that was previously handed out, so what we're looking for is a motion to
Yep.
approve so we can send it on to the state. And
Yeah, has everyone had a chance to look at it? you have, if we can have a motion to either pass it or change it. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Against? Neutral? 600, it passed. We don't really have any old business, new business. Is there anyone on the commission that has new business? No? Mr. Mulholland, do you have anything tonight?
Yeah, very briefly, Sophie Noble's moving along. They hope to pave, I think it's Tuesday. They're trying to beat the weather now. They're up against the clock. The rain really set them back. The phone's ringing off the hook as usual, so I have nothing more than that. But at your next meeting will be a long night, so be prepared, and we'll send that agenda out in a week or so. So thank you.
Okay. I'd just like to comment, if you all haven't seen the new gas station on Main Street, it's looking great. Cafe Sol's looking great.
Yeah, I guess I could throw in, Constantine's opened on a soft opening tonight. They'll be open tomorrow. It was a pretty crowded place. Cafe Sol, I think, is opening the 15th or tentatively of November. Their building's about 98% complete. There's been a change at Lillian's. There's a change of ownership there and a new name, so that's changed. As you pointed out, the gas station downtown's had an update, essentially what I label that. So that's essentially what I have this evening.
Do we have a date for the car wash yet?
No, subject to weather. The weather, we all know it's been raining for weeks, it seems.
Well, everything's looking great, so thank you for all your hard work.
Have we had any updates on the affordable housing?
No,
Did you have a chance to talk to Attorney Blaisdell?
I did. He's still working on it. He's waiting for some additional data. He will have a report for you soon, hopefully at the next meeting, which he may or may not be in attendance. We're still working on trying to get that scheduled so that he could be here for that.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to say something that when I was reading the 830G, it says the municipality is allowed to decide on whether or not we move forward with the affordable housing. It doesn't say town council, it says municipality, so does that...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just want to know that if it's left up to the municipality, that would be us, not, it doesn't say the town council, it says municipality, so...
You're correct on that, but it's really not going to be a town decision. The town has to qualify, and we have to apply to the state, and they have to allow us to have a moratorium. So we're putting together all the data to send to council and put that together, report to you, and then if we meet the certain numbers, then we'll qualify to go and ask. So that's being put together. I've got some tech emails from our attorney on that subject. That's why I'm up to date to some degree. So we're going to have to go get qualified to do that. We're still gathering data. We've got some in today. We think we sent some to the attorney late this afternoon, so we're hoping that he'll have that ready to go on the 16th.
Right. Okay, well, I just would like to remind you, Mr. Mulholland, that it's very time sensitive to get those credits because, as you know, like a lot of people here might not understand how the process works. The more people that move in, then it increases, the percentage goes up.
Yeah,
so the sooner we
understood.
can get it, and we've asked for it, quite a few times already.
Right.
It's, we've asked several times, as we've asked for the
The
trees.
numbers did come in today, so I think they're trying to speed it up.
Yeah, and that request has been made known to the town attorney on numerous occasions. I've kept him up abreast and shot him the emails. So as Ms. Thurl has pointed out, a lot of data went to him late this afternoon on numbers.
All right.
Because we're looking at housing units in the town, looking at the number of affordable houses in town in comparison to the overall number of units. And then we've got to put together the final report. And we're going back to look at our affordable housing plan that we adopted last year. But the reality on the ground might be a little bit different than that. And then that data goes to the town attorney, and then we're going to come before the board. And then if we qualify, then we can make our request to the state.
Does it look like we qualify perhaps now, in your opinion? Maybe? Are we on the line? Are we way off the line?
it's difficult for me to say. I've seen some data because our town planner is helping with the data. So, and we're all kind of running around hearing it as we cross each other's path. It sounded like we may have slipped a little in terms of the number of units that we have compared to the newer units. When you put them all together, if we get new single-family homes, that skews the numbers if we don't get additional units. So in trying to get up to our 10%, we're always kind of chasing our tail, trying to get to that number, and it doesn't look like we'll ever get to the number. It would take decades. But we're working on it, and it's my understanding that the state is looking at the affordable housing regulations and toying with the idea of taking that authority for themselves and operate much like the Connecticut Siting Council does for public utilities. They will decide and tell the towns where it goes. Now, will that get passed and will that get approved? Who knows? That's some of the things in emails I get informationally. It's one issue that's been being batted around, I guess, at the state level.
Are we still at 6%?
No,
Less.
less, from what I understand. But until the numbers come out, which will hopefully be at your next meeting.
I sat on the committee to develop the plan for
Right.
affordable housing.
Right,
Our consultant said, this was about a year ago,
right,
he said that we were over 6%,
right.
like 6.2, 6.3, better than any surrounding towns,
Mm-hmm.
and then beyond.
Yes.
So you're saying less than 6.
Well, we got new data today because there's been activity for the last year, building activity in the community that changes the numbers, and we need to have accurate numbers in order to approach the state. So we're looking for actual numbers, and that data is being gathered by our planner, being helpful to what we're looking to do and being sent to our town council for review. So that's the status quo, and we hope to have everything by the 16th to bring to you as well.
November 16th.
Yes.
And we'll also have the Stop and Shop
The attorney doing the presentation on the 16th is also representing the Stop and Shop, and I've asked that he address that on that meeting. And if you recall the last meeting, he had asked that it be moved out to the 16th. And I actually met with him this week to discuss what we're doing on the 16th. So we're trying to put that together and organize the meeting and look at spaces and schedules and things like that.
So then getting back to the affordable housing, we are going to have some data on the November 16th.
Well, I've sent it on to town attorney as the planner, and we've asked that he have it ready for the 16th. We certainly don't control that.
So, okay.
So that's in progress.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Well, November 21st, Mr. Schmidt, will you still go to planning for us?
I think so.
Okay, we'll see. And well, I don't think we have anything else tonight. My comments, I was just going to bring up the affordable housing, but we've covered that. So the 16th will be a long night, so see everybody then. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.